Hey guys, how are you today? It is Zach here. I hope you guys are all having a good day. So I'm well aware that the majority of people watching this are between the ages of 18 and 24. Actually, my analytics says that everyone is between that age. However, it's obviously not like that because not everyone has, not everyone has an account, and people who don't have an account obviously don't show up there. So what I thought it would be cool to do is to today make a video about the things that if you are in your 20s, the goals that you should set for you to have hit by the time you have hit 30. So these are financial goals that I believe that really anyone is going to be able to do. Obviously, goals such as this vary from person to person, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give very broad goals about what I believe everyone should do, because I don't believe that everyone really wants to buy a house by the time they're 30 and stuff like that, or if in a Roth IRA, whatever it is in your country. I feel like a lot of people have different goals when it comes to this stuff, but I think this is kind of really important fundamental stuff that we can hit and that everyone's going to be able to do. You guys, if you really enjoy these type of videos, please smash that like button, absolutely obliterate it, and then that subscribe and little bell button, and then without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first goal for everyone to have is to have a credit score above 750. So once again, this is something that everyone can do. It's actually a free thing to do actually as well. If you guys really want to know how to get your credit score below 750, above 750, I can make a video going all through how to do that perfectly for free, completely free. It pretty much just basically involves making sure that you have a good credit history. And this means that whenever a payment comes into your credit card, make sure you're paying that off before the time is due. So what a good credit history will allow you to do is this will allow you to get the best interest rates whenever you go out and you go and buy a house, want to take a loan out, whatever you really want to do with it. So a credit score is basically a range which a creditor will rank how good you are at lending money and how likely you are to repay them back. So the best lenders will actually give above a 740, and they will give the best loans out for that, because you're the most likely to be a good loanee and you're more likely to give them money back straight away, and not going to have any problems, defaulting on any loans or anything like that. They're always going to get their money, and it's also a quite safe investment for them. It's a way for them to measure risk. So basically there are three steps in order to create a good credit history. The first is to always pay off your item before it's ready. The second is to keep open your lines of credit as much as possible and for as long as possible. And the third is to have multiple types of credit. This means you can have a credit card, you can also have multiple loans, and this will just overall give you a better whole credit history. The second goal that I really want everyone to have is to be bad debt free. So for those who don't know, there's two types of debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. So bad debt is debt that doesn't make you any money. So we were talking about this before in a few other videos where we have talked about good liabilities and bad liabilities, and it's exactly the same. So there's good debt and bad debt. So bad debt is debt that doesn't give you any money in return. So for example, a car loan doesn't give you any money in return as you're not making a profit on it. However, an example of a good debt would be a mortgage on a house which you rent out, and then the rent that you get will pay for the mortgage and you profit the difference between the two of them. So for those who have watched my videos before, there are basically two methods of which you can get rid of debt. The first way, which is what I recommend, is to get rid of the debt which has a higher interest first. So what this means is pretty much when you are going anything above 5%, you want to get rid of that interest straight away. So this is any lines of credit that you have, any credit you really need to do. This is actually a really big thing, and over time, really any interest that accrues will really pay, and that will really hurt you quite bad. And then the second way, which is the way I don't like, however, speaks to the psychology of people, which I don't like, is that you pay the smallest loan first and then you go up incrementally. Now, I don't like what it is technically meant to be is that once you get that smallest one out of the way first, it's meant to give you a mental boost, and then it's meant to get you to go up and up and up. However, that's not actually the one that's going to save you the most money in the long run. So the advantage of getting rid of all your bad debt is that it actually allows you to create more wealth. So actually what studies have found that the #1 killer of wealth at any age is bad debt. So always you want to get out of your student loans, you know, when you get out of your car loans, everything like that straight away as soon as possible. And you really just want to get out of that bad debt whenever you can, and then just try and build your wealth from there. So my third goal, which I would like everyone to be able to do, and everyone that should be able to do it, is to have 1 year's worth of expenses invested. So this can either be in, you know, bonds, stocks, real estate, whatever it is. We're not going to do cash because cash is going to be another it's going to be another point later on. So what this will do is this will be a twofold thing. In order to do it, you'll have to know what your expenses are. This will mean that you need to actually budget and you need to figure out what your expenses are for over a few years, and then you need to have that amount of cash invested. I myself at the age of 20 already have this amount of cash invested. Actually, I have more than that cash. I almost have about 1 year of full salary invested. And then the second reason why this is actually a really quite good idea, because the earlier that you are investing, especially in stocks, the more likely that you are to have a better return in the long run. This is because over a 40-year period, compound interest has more time to accrue. However, if you only invested in a 30-year period, compound interest has a less chance to accrue, and then so that will mean that you're getting less money out of it. So the earlier that you start investing, the better it is for you in the long run, meaning you get more money overall. So if you're in your early 20s right now, I would suggest 100% to start investing right now, because how much money you're going to put in now is going to be worth a hell of a lot more in the future when you count for inflation and you have an average of a 7% return. So my fourth goal that I would like everyone to be able to do and able to have by the time they are 30 is by starting a second job or a way to have a second income. So a lot of the time this is going to be a side hustle, whether that be YouTube, having a photography business, any business of any kind, having a Shopify shop, anything like that which can generate income. A lot of the time you really want to do something that you actually enjoy and you're going to be able to do. Like I myself, I really enjoy talking about finance, anything like that. So that's why I decided to make this YouTube account. I really love talking about it, and I feel like I know a decent bit, and I could try and help everyone around and just really do my part. So eventually the amount of money that you will make actually might become passive income. For example, I do have a video on passive income. However, sometimes your past videos from YouTube can make you more income. Meanwhile, as a Shopify store, you can just leave it and it will still create income for you. That's examples of passive income. And then if you do really well, eventually what could happen is this side hustle could become your main hustle and could become your main job. And then you quit your main job and do something which you really enjoy and just do that full time. I feel like that's really the best possible outcome that could ever happen. Pursuing something which is very lucrative in money, which you really love. And I know a lot of people are going to be out there and going to go, but Zach, I don't have the time to, look up and do all this stuff and make a second side hustle. But Zach, I don't have the money to make a Shopify account. These are all really things that I know a lot of people, there's all the questions that they have when everyone starts talking about a side hustle. But when you think about it, over time, I truly believe that really, if you really just put effort into something, and then if you just do it over a long, continuous period of time, you will eventually start making money. And especially if it's something you enjoy and you actually really like doing, you're going to obviously want to put more effort in it, and you're going to try even harder to do well at it. So eventually it will become money, it will become monetized, and you will be able to make a good living out of it. But I really do believe that when starting any business or anything like that, people are actually really scared of two things. The first one is that they're scared of outside pressure and what people will think of them, especially with the dawn of social media right now. What's happened is that a lot of people, don't really want to take these massive risks because they believe that their family's going to judge them, or the people they went to school with are going to judge them, something like that. The second thing that people are actually really afraid of when it comes to, creating a business is putting some money in and then, losing all that money and whatnot. But again, if you're actually really young, this is probably the perfect time right now for you to actually start creating a business and whatnot, because at the end of the day, you're 20, you're obviously not going to have a hell of a lot of money. So if you do lose some money, it doesn't matter, because you're always going to have time to make it up. It's different if you're 60 and then you put $500,000 down for a business and it collapses. That's obviously a whole different matter from what we're talking about. However, what we're talking about is goals to hit before you hit 30. So, you know, there's always more money you can make when you're in your 20s, and you always have a lot of time because you're at university or, you know, you just started a full-time job. But I would recommend, you know, just doing something which you really love and you really want to do. So for example, if you are a really good gamer and you really want to have a try at that, try doing some tournaments, you know, try doing some esports and whatnot, you know, that might really help you. So my fifth and final goal, which I want everyone to be able to achieve and should be achievable, is to have 25% of your income saved up. So this should preferably be in a high interest savings account, and then the interest that you get should be above the inflation rate of whatever country you're in. So the inflation rate differs from country to country, from year to year. So whatever you do is Google the inflation rate of your country and you'll come up with the last 5 years and take the average of that, and then try and get a, you know, an interest rate above that. You really want to be above 2% a lot of the time in a lot of first world countries. However, there are third world countries, and I doubt you're going to be in a third world country while watching this. However, it might happen. So, you know, just try and put your money in a high interest savings account. And, you know, if you really want to find out ways how you can save more money and how you can budget, I will leave my video down in the comments about how you can budget yourself and how you can save yourself thousands of dollars per month. But yeah, 25% is a really good, nice, even amount for you to have of your income saved up. So, you know, 25% of your income isn't a hell of a lot when you think about it, where you have pretty much 10 years, it's say for 20 my age, you have 10 years now to save up 25% of your income. Now, a lot of the time you aren't going to be earning more than, majority of people aren't going to be earning more than, you know, 100,000 by the end of by the time they're 30. You know, majority of people aren't going to be hitting that. But, you know, obviously if you're doing this, you're going to be wanting to get that. But, you know, if you're aiming for 100,000, you think about it, you're saving $50,000 over 10 years. That's $5,000. You know, you should be able to save that amount, especially, you know, on a massive salary like that. If you can't save $5,000, you know, there's some other problems going on, you know, and you definitely do need to check out the video on how to actually save and how to, you know, not splurge on stuff like that. But yeah, guys, that is going to be all for me today. I hope you guys have had a good day, and this is actually a really nice video for me to make. Please again hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.